at what point in time should you stop sourcing? Or should you never stop sourcing? That's what we're gonna talk about today. Welcome to Flipping and Punching, and today we're gonna pull some eBay orders and we're gonna talk about when should you stop sourcing? And I got this idea, you know, one of my buddies, ADH Dave, is recently gave up sourcing for June and July, which I find nuts because he has so much merchandise. We live in Florida and it is so hot. And I have actually taken off the last like 2 weeks or so from sourcing. It's actually been a little refreshing. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about when you should or should you not stop sourcing, because a lot of people have the philosophy that you always need to be sourcing. So we'll do a little deep dive in that. Sold a bunch of stuff. Started listing all these magazines. I know last video you guys saw me, I showed you, I found like 2 or 3 more boxes of magazines. So I started listing those. Trying to clear out some of my death pile. Listing things I don't normally want to list, like stack of books here, you know what I mean? More of these magazine boxes. The stacks of magazines just all over the place here. Going through those, I have them laying out all over the place because I've been organizing them in stacks, and then what I've been doing is going through, quick pull up the ones that are maybe like 15 bucks or more, and then I'm listing them in giant lots. And so we'll talk about my first sale today because it's one of those things where it's very difficult, and these magazines are very heavy. They take up space. So yesterday I listed, I think 15 heavy metal magazines. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with heavy metal magazines, it's not music. They're actually an adult comic book, which has some risque pictures inside of it, you can say. It's cartoon, it's a cartoon drawing comic, but it's focused on, it's called heavy metal. So I put a stack of those up for $100, and someone sent me an offer probably within 2 hours being up for $55. Now, let me show you the space we have first. So these are the boxes, okay? I paid $50 per box. These heavy metal magazines were only gonna take up a little bit of space. Why? Why do you wait for me to put the camera on for you to wanna go out? And you? Oh no. All right, so I just looked at my dog. My dog actually just busted open her last stitch in her leg. So I'm gonna call the vet quick. I don't know if I need to take her back to the vet to get the stitches done or if it's healed up enough. So hopefully I reached out to my wife. She works in the medical field. Hopefully she'll have a better answer for me, but let's pull a couple orders so I wait to hear back from her. So what I was saying is I paid $50 a box for these magazines, and this is probably like, I don't know, 1/3 of the box. So this stack right here, right? I had this stack here, and they offered me $55 for the stack. Actually, that stack takes up about 25% of the box. So I've been making money on it. So I decided to accept it because $55 gets it out the door. Well, this morning I found 2 more boxes, so I started listing, and I found another 13 books. I listed those 13 books, and the same buyer sent me an offer for $45, count them at 55 because as we bought the last ones, and he accepted. I probably want to hold off. I could have probably got more, but you know what? If I'm going to sell it immediately, I got it listed. I don't have to do anything with it. I'm just going to get rid of it. So I got $110. So I sold both these lots, and we got $110. This is what those magazines look like. That's softwood, but as you can see, like, this is some heavy metal stuff. So both those lots for $55 each, so we get $110 plus shipping for both of those. So at the end of the day, I decided to take it because you know what? It's Operation CSO. We're clearing stuff out, and that frees up about 1/3 of a box. So that gets me back $110 already from this big buy, and I got tons of stuff to list. All right, next on so we actually sold 2 comic books. I am going through my old eBay listings. I don't know if you guys know this, but the collectible market was at the highest peak ever. Right during the pandemic or right after the pandemic. And I had a lot of comic books in my store that were listed high because of that. So I've been going through, ending those and selling similar, relisting those on eBay and repricing them. So they're more around the fair market value. And then I'm cross-listing all those over to the other platforms. But I want to make sure that, you know, everything's updated. I'm only cross-listing the items that are newly listed because I want to make sure that everything I put over there is up to date. It's gonna, you know, hopefully sell fast. So, but let's show you what I sold. All right, first comic book was Transformers number 22. This is actually from 1986. Marvel had a 25th anniversary, so that year in November they came up this border, went on all the comic books, and they're actually pretty highly collectible. This has a couple first appearances in it, but it got a 9.2, which not sure why. It seems like a low grade for this one. Maybe because it has some color rub on the back there. Oh, it had a little damage on the, if you look at the staple right there, it has damage on the staple, but this came in a massive lot. I've already made my money back, so I have sent some dollar into these comic books, just the grading fees, pressing, and the press of the book is like pretty much taken to like ironing a book out to make sure it's like laid flat, gets all the wrinkles out and stuff, cleans it. Cost me that, and to get it graded cost me about 30 bucks. So I got about 30 bucks into this. Ended up selling this. Had it listed for $64.99. Buyer sent me an offer for 54 bucks or 55 bucks, and I accepted. So $55 plus shipping. Next one we sold is Transformers number 25. This is Death of Megatron. So this is actually a pretty good book, highly sought after. Got a 9.6. This is the one listed for $119.99. Sent them an offer for 100 bucks, and they accepted. So I got $100 plus shipping. Once again, I have about 30 bucks into that book. So we'll walk away after fees and stuff like that. We'll walk away around, like, we'll make about 45, 50 bucks profit on that. So I'm happy with that. Gets these old things out of my store and keeps the cash flow coming in. All right, next time we sold, we actually sold a Funko Pop. This came from this recent big pickup I just did. I can't even pronounce this name. So, but this is a GameStop exclusive. This came in the massive box I bought off in the private pick for 75 bucks, and that was in there. Listed for $14.99. Buyer sent me an offer for 10 bucks, and I accepted. Trying to move that stuff as fast as possible. We also sold a wrestling figure. Scott Steiner, NWO. Love this figure. I was a big fan of Big Papa Pump and the NWO WCW days back in the day. Came from my private pick. Had that listed for 20 bucks. I sent an offer for $16.99 and the buyer accepted. So I got $16.99 plus ship. Let me tell you, it's so bright outside. Having a concrete driveway and it's so bright outside, I can barely see when I'm out there. All right, so let's talk about the topic here. When should you stop sourcing? And it's a really interesting topic because depending where you live, depending on how you run your business, depending on your employees, it's going to vary per person. But like for me, I make content on YouTube for picking videos. So for me, I have to go sourcing sometimes to make sure I have enough video footage to be able to put out videos for my YouTube channel. So because that's part of my business, that's something that, you know, even though I make 90% of my money from reselling, you know, YouTube does, I make a little money off my Pick and Punching channel. So I need to have content to go out there. Now, if I didn't have my YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't source for the next 6 months because I have that much inventory. Because I bought out some massive collections, I was acquiring tons of merchandise because I was planning to quit my job when my house was built. So there are multiple reasons why I have so much inventory, but I've been dwindling down. Right now it's so hot in Florida that I decided to not source for the next couple weeks. I take that back, I'm gonna source this Saturday. But I haven't sourced the last like couple weeks, to be honest with you. Here and there, I'll go like one day here, one day there, but usually I'm religiously once or twice a week. But I've cut that back dramatically. I've probably gone one time in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But there's a big community sale right by me, so I definitely don't want to miss that. Because community sales, community sales are nice to get footage because there's multiple houses close by, and I can hit a ton of sales. Those that don't have to source for other reasons, when do you guys stop sourcing? I am very intrigued. Like for example, you know, part of the reason I brought this up is because I was talking to ADH Dave. He's not going to start sourcing again until the beginning of August. So he took off June and took off July, and he's running a bunch of whatnots. He's clearing out a bunch of merchandise. I did talk to him on the phone. He said it is nice because he's not spending money on stuff, but just like anything else, you know, you do have other expenses that pop up, car breaks, other things that happen. So the extra money is going to other things. But also too, when you go sourcing, we all have a tendency to list the best items that we get sourcing. So we're always listing the best items, the most expensive items, and we always put the rest of the stuff in our death pile or stuff we don't want to list. So now I've been going through my death pile, you know, like boring stuff like lots of books and other things that I haven't listed that have just been sitting here that I need to start listing. So, I don't know, we'll do a little more deep dive. You know, then you get people like Commonwealth Picker. You know, his philosophy is completely different because he's living up north where the weather's bad. But let's pull a couple more orders here, and then we'll talk more about this. All right, next time we sold is actually a Chanel garment bag. Had these in my store, had it listed for maybe for $49.99. Buyer sent me an offer for 30 bucks. And I accepted. I mean, just a regular garment bag, nothing out of the ordinary here. It just says, somewhere it says Chanel. It just says Chanel on it, so. All right, we sold a couple shirts here. First one we sold was a Affliction shirt. Now, I bought this at a local sale. I paid $1 for the shirt. Had it listed for $34.99. Actually a really cool shirt. American flag shirt. I am sure that this sold because of the 4th of July. But pretty cool. Not sure if you guys know, but Affliction shirts are making a huge comeback in the vintage world. So be on the lookout. If you guys do see them, pick them up because they do bring great money. Had this one listed for $29.99. Buyer sent me an offer for 24 bucks and I accepted. So at $24 plus shipping. We sold another shirt. This is actually a Harley Davidson shirt. Had this one listed for $34.99. This is actually a button-down shirt. Green one. Nothing. Got a cool little like logo things on the side here, but had that one listed for $34.99. Buyer sent me an offer for 25 bucks and we accepted. So I got $25 plus shipping. As you guys know, I don't sell a lot of clothing here in the past, so clothing is something that's been fairly new to me. And I always feel like the $25 like the sweet spot, it seems like, for a lot of clothing I've been selling. Which I'm fine with. I mean, 25 bucks for a piece of clothing that I usually spend $5 or less on, so I'll take that all day long. Usually I'm spending, $1 to $3 on these shirts. So, and then, I mean, a lot of times I get stuff above that, but I mean, usually when I get offers, it's usually around the $25 to $30 mark, which is great. Just got the phone with the vet. I sent them photos of her little wound. I mean, it's starting to heal up, but they recommend that we bring her back in to get stitches again. So, tomorrow morning, got to change all my plans tomorrow. Got to bring in the vet because I had to sedate her so they can put the stitches back in. It's not big, it's like 3 stitches, but it just wasn't healed up enough for it to just be left alone. So unfortunately, we'll have to stitch it up. Last thing I want that thing to do is get infected. Kids these days, let me tell you. So what I was talking about, people like Kevin, the common little picker, he lives in Virginia. So he can't really go sourcing at yard sales in December, January, February because it's too cold, it's snowing, bad weather. He would either have to go to the thrift stores or go to like church sales or estate sales. So what he chooses to do is he chooses to take off like December, January every year. So he makes sure he has enough footage from November to going on and just takes off 2 months to go sourcing. Which what he does, and he stockpiles. So he buys a lot of stuff to stockpile because he does have people that do work for him. He does have another person who does work for him, and he has to have enough stuff so he can do his live selling and also to be listing on eBay consistently. I would love to get rid of like half my depot, half my merch. My ideal spot would probably be around like 2 to 4 weeks worth of listings, because that way if I get sick or something would happen and I can't go sourcing or we have bad weather, that I still have enough inventory to keep listing. Because the most important thing with your eBay store is that you want to be consistently listing items online, because when you consistently list, you consistently get sales. Now, the bad thing about not sourcing is, we're always listing those hot items. Those hot items do bring new customers to us, but I'm sure there's tons of stuff in my death pile that I'm like, why the heck did I not list that? I probably have thousands of dollars sitting there. Back in January, where I tried to blow out and try to list as much stuff as possible, I was finding items in my death pile that were worth hundreds that were just sitting there. I mean, as I'm standing here right now, I'm looking around the room around me, and I see like digital cameras and bags. I see professional wrestling title belts that I haven't listed yet. I've seen DVD, VCR combos, video game consoles that I just need to test. So I think part of the reason why our death pile gets big, because sometimes we buy causes us to do extra work, and we don't want to do the extra work. So one thing I'm really starting to, I think, one thing going forward, I'm going to buy profits, not projects. Because before I would buy shoes and hats and shirts to clean up. But at this point in time, I have so much merchandise. Why am I buying items to put extra work in when I can just list the items I have that are just easy listers? So I think I'm going to start blowing out. I have like a bucket here of hats that need to be clean. Maybe like 15 hats. I think I'm just putting Whatnot, start them at like $3 and just let someone else buy them. But they're good hats, like Titleist and New Air hats, and like they're good quality hats. They just need to be clean. So I think I'm going to blow those out in Whatnot. I think I'm going to do a Whatnot next Wednesday. So I'm going to be doing Whatnot. I'm going to do it on Wednesday, which I think is today. Now I think about it, because I'm filming this video a couple days in advance. So come join me on Whatnot. Buy my stuff. Super cool. It's actually going to be not going to be a Disney show either. I'm going to do it in everything show, from toys to clothing to whatever cool I have laying around here. All right, so I told you guys earlier that I've been ending sell similar items on eBay, and then I've been cross-listing those once I relist them on eBay. And this is one of those items. This is a belt buckle. I had this listed for like $13.99. Dropped the price to $9.99, and it sold within like the first hour of listing. So we sold another box. I know we keep selling these Louis Vuitton boxes, so I'll keep it short because you guys have seen this multiple times. But so this box, normally I would ask 40 bucks for this box, but it has damage on the side. So buyer sent me an offer for 20 bucks, and we accepted. So we got 20 bucks plus shipping. All right, we got a couple more sales here. We sold some more Chanel flowers. Now, these have been in my store for like 6 months, didn't sell at all. And then I realized I had an issue. I put a picture up, I had 4 of them on there, but I didn't put in the title that was a lot of 4 of them. So people thought they were paying 25 bucks for one flower. And the reason why I wasn't selling these. So once I updated it, I have now sold my 4th lot I have sold. These are little flowers. These come on the bags and the boxes, and people actually use these for crafting. Had these listed for $24.99. Some sent me an offer for 15 bucks, and I just sold them. So just happy to see them go. So at 15 bucks plus shipping. And I've been telling you guys, I've been listing and listing and listing with Vendoo, cross listing, and we actually got a Poshmark sale, something we normally don't get a lot of. So this Tennessee jacket. This came from that massive Tennessee pickup. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while now, I was selling a ton of gear from the University of Tennessee because one of the coaches, I went to a yard sale for one of the former coaches from the University of Tennessee, and he had all this gear still. And so I paid like $3 a piece for it. So I paid $3 for this, and I had it listed for $39.99. The buyer sent me an offer. I countered them. We kind of went back and forth and settled at $27. So got $27 plus shipping for this. And that was cross-list with Vendoo. Speaking of cross-listing with Vendoo, so one thing I did was on Whatnot, I've been listing all my Disney stuff on, I've been cross-listing all my Disney stuff to Whatnot because I was doing those Disney Whatnot shows. So when you do a show on Whatnot, if you don't know, Whatnot, you can do a live auction, or you can put stuff on the regular marketplace, just like eBay, like a static marketplace. Once those items are on your static marketplace, you can move those to your buy it now in your auction. So I moved 120 something, I moved 120 Disney items to my buy it now for my Disney show over this past week, and it was amazing. During my show on Sunday, we sold 12 items to buy it now. I told the audience that to make me fair offers on anything in the store, everyone sent me offers, and I sold 12 additional items for over $200 something. Then the next day, someone that was in my show came back and wanted to make an offer on a couple of other items, and this is one of the pin sets we sold. So I made a deal with 2 pin sets for 65 bucks plus shipping. This is one of them. This one had a little damage here, so that's why I sold this one for cheap. So this is a cool little pin set. I know cross-listing isn't for everyone, but if you guys do want to try it out, you can try Vendoo for free. The link's down in the description down below. I mean, it's working great for us, man. Especially listing the biggest game changer for us, I say, with cross-listing was cross-listing to Whatnot and be able to move those items from my regular marketplace over to my live auction and then put those in my buy it nows. That has been an absolute game changer for us. Because of that, we have sold 12 items during the live show, and then we sold 2 items additional. So we have sold 14 items on our marketplace this week from Vendoo. All right, so I mentioned earlier about sourcing. So let me know in the comments down below, how much backstock of inventory do you guys have in your depot? Are we talking like a month's worth, 3 months, 6 months, a year's worth? Like if you guys stop sourcing today, how long would it take you if you guys go through all the inventory? Now, I would also like to hear from you guys, what do you guys think is ideal for your business? Like how much inventory do you have in a depot? So for example, do you guys want, like, if you guys didn't source the next 2 weeks, is 2 weeks enough inventory for you to not source? Is a month's worth, 2 months worth? I guess it really comes down to the size and what you're doing. But like, for example, if I was selling sports cards, I can literally have a little box that I can put in a drawer and I can get like 800 listings out of that box, you know? I do understand that the size of the items, the amount of items you have does impact that, but ideally, what do you guys prefer for your business? So for me, I would like to have 2 to 4 weeks worth. I think that would be really good. I would like to get the point, to be honest with you, where when I go sourcing, when I come back, I'm literally listing everything I sourced that week, because I'm at the point now with my business, I have networked so much with other resellers. I have a lot more connections, and I can move merchandise. I can find merchandise to buy. any day of the week, I can pretty much find more merchandise to buy. So getting new merchandise is not an issue for me. It's getting through the merchandise I have is actually the issue. So I know that I'm very fortunate, and people are going to say, oh, because you live in Florida. No. Someone made that comment to me the other day. It was because, oh, it's because you live in Florida, you have all these additional sourcing options. I can live anywhere. It doesn't really matter because I would network with local resellers. Like if I lived out in the woods in, say, like Alabama, I would literally be able to get sourcing or find new items. I could start fresh and have a whole stack of inventory by the end of the month. And the reason for that is, one is I would look Facebook OfferUp. I would start connecting with other resellers. I would place ads, letting people know that I'm buying. So if I didn't have a way to source, I would spend a little money to place ads on social media that I am looking to buy. And I would also look into online auctions where you can actually have items shipped to your house when you win these auctions. So those would be a couple of things that I would do. And then I would start networking, find other reseller groups in the area, go in reseller groups online, let people know where I live. And within a probably 1 or 2 hour radius, I could probably find a lot of other people that would look to move some merchandise. So that's what I would start. So I know people always tell me, oh, it's because I live in Florida, you find all these awesome finds. No, I would find awesome finds anywhere I lived. Those options would be slightly different, but I would always be able to find inventory to source. It doesn't really matter how. You just have to find creative ways to get the inventory to source. I mean, a good example is that like Phoenix Resale. If you guys don't know who Phoenix Resale is, he has a channel dedicated to selling video games. But originally he was a reseller that sold pretty much everything, and then he was doing clothing, and then he eventually just niched down to just doing video games. And then he was going to yard sales, but realized that it was hard for him to find video games at yard sales, so he started hitting up pawn shops, thrift stores, and then eventually, because he was selling on Amazon, he started to go to game stores and buy from game stores and get inventory to sell on Amazon. He then grew his business to the point where he was doing a lot, where he started going to conventions. And then he would start traveling. So he would literally spend one day, maybe travel 4 hours away and hit up a ton of game stores to get a bunch of inventory. And then he would have inventory to list for the next week or two. But as his business grew, so did, the way he grew too, where he started buying collections from viewers of his channel. He started buying collections locally. And then he eventually got to the point where he created an app where you can actually go in there, and if you're a part of his app, you can actually sell video games directly to him. So now people just ship him video games. He doesn't have to worry about going sourcing. So there's always ways to source, guys. You guys have to find creative ways to build up. That's why it's very important to build up your network around you so that you are able to source. All right, next item we sold is actually one of my favorite items I just recently got when I was in Virginia with the Commonwealth Picker. This is a Mario plush, plush with a rubber head. So Mario doll from 1989. Paid $10 for this. I had this listed for $29.99. Sent out an offer for $24.99 and buyer accepted. So I got $24.99 plus shipping. I know it's not a big profit, but I could not leave this thing behind, man. I am a Nintendo kid at heart. I love Mario, and I've never seen this or owned this before, so had to pick it up. Make sure I went to a good home. So $24.99 plus shipping. All right, next item we sold is actually a CD. I told you guys I'm not listing items that are gonna be like 15 or 20 bucks or lower, but I made an exception for this because the sell-through rate was so quick. It's a Weird Al Yankovic CD. I know, weird thing, right? This actually came in the big lot of stuff I had. Literally take a picture front and back and just scan the barcode. It took me like 2 minutes to list. But the sell-through rate on the CD was 100%. So there was I listed for $7.99. Buyer sent me an offer for $6.25. It literally was up for like 2 days and it sold already. So it's literally gonna take me 2 minutes. So 5 minutes worth of work to make $6. So, all right, next thing we sold was actually a DVD. This is an anime DVD. I bought a big lot of anime. Paid $20 for 28 DVDs. That one we sold. We had it listed for $14.99. Buyers, we sent an offer I think for $12.99. Buyer accepted. So I think we got $12.99 plus shipping. All right, next time we sold is a Disney pin book. Now, if you guys don't know, when you're a pin collector, a lot of them have these books so they can there's a bunch of pages on there, put the pins in there so I can show off their collection or for trading or anything else I want to do. Put this on eBay. Had it listed for $49.99. Buyer sent me an offer for $35 and we accepted. So we got $35 plus shipping. This is one of those big things, guys. When you buy lots of items, people don't consider the accessories in the lots to the actual price. So when I buy these big collection of pins, I'm paying for the pins. Okay, not the books, not everything else that comes along with it. So this bag, we got I think we got like 7 bags. So if we can get 20 to 30 bucks per bag, that's an extra $200 on top of it. that wasn't originally calculated into the actual buy cost. Same thing when you buy video game lots, like the extra controllers, especially when you buy like video games. People put a value in the systems and the games. They don't put an extra value in the controllers or other accessories that come with it. So always be on the lookout for that. When you are calculating, that's how I'm able to pay up sometimes for lots. Resellers will pass on items because they don't think there's enough profit there, but there really is enough profit because they're not calculating the other accessories that go along with it. So going back to sourcing, I'm interested. Have you guys ever stopped sourcing, or do you ever plan to stop sourcing? I don't think I ever plan to stop sourcing, but I will take breaks from sourcing from time to time. Like one of those times right now, I'm gonna go sourcing this Saturday, but and then I'll go sourcing at the end of the month. I'll go sourcing this Saturday, and I'll take off probably the next week or two after that. I'll go sourcing right in the beginning of August because there's some big events coming up that I'm gonna go sourcing at. Anyway, let's pull a couple more orders here. We sold 2 books. This one right here, Batman's Greatest Story Ever Told. I've had multiple copies of this, so I had this listed up pretty cheap. I had it listed for $9.99. I have like 3 copies of it. So sent an offer for $7.99 and buyer accepted. So we had $7.99 plus shipping. We have less than $1 into that. And then this is something to keep an eye out for when people are moving. Someone we recently know was moving and they were just want to clear out some stuff. I think they were helping out a preschool or a daycare or something like that. So they had this book, Teacher's Edition, Pathway to Preschool, 2nd edition here. They were going to throw it away, and I know that does have some value. So I had it listed for $39.99. Buyer sent me an offer for 30 bucks and I accepted. So I got $30 plus shipping on that. Anyway, guys, like I said earlier, we're going to be doing a whatnot tonight. So make sure you guys come hang out. It's not going to be Disneyland, so come. There's gonna be something for everyone there. Tons of toys, tons of just cool little odds and ends stuff. I'm gonna list a Bart Simpson phone from 1990. Really cool. I've never seen it before, so we'll put that up. Started like $3. Make sure you guys do like and subscribe. We are on the way to getting this channel to 3,000 subs, which is awesome. We're a couple hundred away, so we're well on our way there. So thank you for all the support. And until next time, guys, make sure you guys keep flipping and punching.